She tried to light our house on fire. Hey JD, so I'm back again with another story time, and I will be talking about the time that my next door neighbor Heather broke into my house and stole my clothes. Fun, right? Fun times. Fun times. So I was in the eighth grade, and well, it was the summer of me going to the eighth grade, and I had just moved to like a new neighborhood, going to a new school, so I didn't know anybody. So the first day I moved there, all these guys came and introduced themselves because I was pretty much like the only girl at the neighborhood at the time besides Heather, but she didn't go to our school. So they were just like, we're cool. You can sit with us on the bus and we'll show you around, yada, yada, yada. So, like, she came up and I met her and she was nice and she was sweet. And we hung out like every day that summer. Like, how we lived in a big duplex. It was like upstairs and downstairs. So, like, where my room was, I could literally open up my window and sit on the roof because it covered the front porch. And so she would climb from her window in the back. She would climb over both of our houses and like come out there with me. And we would just talk for hours and hours at night. So I didn't really notice that some of my stuff was missing because I had so much clothes. And like in middle school, like you want to go outside and hang out and do all that. So I'm just like throwing stuff around at the time, so I'm just like, oh, well, it's probably under the bed or it's probably downstairs or whatever. I wasn't really thinking too much of it. So one weekend, Heather went to her aunt's house, and her mom had came over and was like,
Here's all your clothes. Heather's fat ass couldn't fit into it.
how's she getting my clothes? Now, I'm not thinking about this at the time, but she did just used to randomly pop up in my window and be like, hey girl, what you doing? I'm like, why you can come knock at the front door? Oh, I didn't think that anybody was home. I knew that you were here, so I just came and knocked on your window. It was easier. I didn't think of it at the time. I was just like, whatever. I just thought she was being weird. So I get the back of clothes, and it's literally all of my stuff like stretched out, and it smells like cigarettes, and it's just so gross. So I don't want it at this point. So I just like toss it to the side. And I'm like, so when is Heather coming back home? And she's like, oh, she'll be here tomorrow. I'm like, okay, thank you. So the next day, Heather comes knocking on my screen door, and I opened the door with some scissors because I knew it was her. And she was like, hey. And I was like, don't hate me with this. Let me get some scissors. I ain't got no scissors. So we gonna pretend this makeup brush is some scissors. So I was like,
don't be hating me. First of all, your mama came over here and dropped off my clothes that you've been stealing. And I know that you ain't been coming through this front door and that you been coming through my window because, like an idiot, I wasn't locking the door. But I didn't say that. I wasn't locking the window, so I wasn't saying that. But that's besides the point. You was coming through my window and you stealing my stuff. And so I'm going to whoop your ass.
So she, like, runs over to her house, whatever. I run after her and try to open the door, like, she wasn't going to lock it behind her. So, of course, the door was locked, so I went back home. Then, like, maybe 15, 20 minutes later, she knocked on my door and ran off. And there were, like, 2 pairs of my jeans cut up. And I'm just like, she wants to die. So, when I see her, it's on sight. So, the whole week, she didn't come outside. And I'm just waiting, like, just to spot her. So, one day, my sister at the time was pregnant with my oldest nephew. She was like 9 months. Like, she was due any freaking second. So she called me and was like, you and Daze, y'all get ready so we could go swimming. So I'm like, all right. She was like, I'm going to pull up in about 10 minutes. So I put on a 2-piece and flip-flops. Now, where we used to live, our driveway was nothing but rocks. So, but we didn't share a driveway with them. So I'm outside sitting on the porch waiting, and I see her walk by. And she was like,
What you looking at?
that was my cue to go run up. So I ran up on her. So she tried to like scratch me, but she like missed. And that pissed me off that she like attempted to scratch me. But she did backhand me after that because I leaned back and I looked and she was like, pop. And she unleashed the beast because I just started tagging her. I'm dragging her throughout this freaking driveway. Like, shh, shh, shh. Like, in flip-flops. Like, when you get to fighting, you don't feel any pain until it's like after the fact. So I'm not thinking about none of that. Like the dudes from the neighborhood started coming, so I'm just like, oh, I got an audience. I gotta put on a show. My sister is pulling up in the driveway as I'm fighting her, and my sister is really about that life. Pregnant or not, she would have beat my ass if I would have lost that fight, or if I would let her do anything, pretty much. So I'm like, I gotta put on for my city real quick. I ain't finna go out like no punk. I'm not finna be the new girl that's a punk. So I really start putting on a show. I like drag her to the tree that's by our mailbox, and I just start throwing her up against it. I'm kicking her, and she's like screaming. She's like, stop it. She's like scratching my legs up, and I don't care because I'm just still mad that she had the audacity. I thought we were friends, and you just gonna come and steal my clothes for real? You that broke, bro? Like, come on. So whatever, we're done fighting. Like, I'm done. I'm tired at this point, so I just like throw her, and she like gets up and she runs or whatever. She's crying, so I'm like, all right, you ready to go swimming? So we go swimming. We come back home, and this girl has like taken out all of my mom's plants and threw them on the front porch scattered, and then she like cut up the screen part from on the screen door. She like cut that up. She threw the chairs like up against the house, like egged our house. Like she tried to light our house on fire because it smelled like gas, but her house will burn too. So I guess that's why she didn't like light the house on fire. So I call my mom, and my mom's like super bougie. So she's all like, hey, I'm gonna wear heels every day and I'm gonna be cute every day type stuff. So when she saw that, she was like, they gonna make me put my tennis shoes on. I'm from Detroit. We don't play that. And I'm just like, oh my God, I never seen this out of mama. But I was really ready to whoop her ass again. So mama goes over there, and her mom are like going back and forth. And so her and her mom are going back and forth, and Heather's in the house crying. She's like, look what she did to my daughter. Da, da, da. And I was like, she deserved it. She deserved it because she stole my clothes. Da, da, da. So my mom calls the police. So my mom calls the police. And, the police come. And at first, the police officer just wasn't even listening to us. He was just listening to what they had to say. And I'm like, hello? Yoo-hoo. Over here, I'm the victim. Me. I'm the freaking victim. So, so like the other cop gets out the car and they take our statement, and pretty much how that was handled was her mom had to pay my mom like $200 every 2 weeks for 6 months for like the damages and stuff, and then they like eventually moved away. So that's pretty much it. I didn't really get into any more fights after that. My mom, like, I fought a lot growing up, and my mom just was like, you're too pretty to be fighting, and you need to get a hobby. So like in 8th grade, I like ran track, and I was in chorus, and I was preoccupied with that. And then like in high school, I like cheered and I danced and I was in chorus and all that jazz. So I just really tried to avoid conflict or anything that would get me suspended. But I do have another story time about the one time I did get suspended in high school. So I will be telling y'all that another time. So that is it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you're digging my story times, if you're digging all my videos, because I love you guys, okay? Okay. Mwah.